Hi, my name is Mark. I came to the Lord last week of October 2017. Going through my experience, I now understand when I hear a lot of times that people come to the Lord out of desperation and pain, because that's where I was. I was brought up Catholic in Catholic schools and attended church with my family until I got into high school. At that point, by my own doing, for whatever reason, God fell off the radar for me. My wife and I had been together for 14 years, married for the last 3 years. She has been a Christian ever since she was 23. Her Christianity had strengthened during the past 8 years, and she has an extremely good relationship with God. Fast forward to October, where my wife told me to find somewhere else to stay for a while. I was so clueless, I had no idea. Within a couple of days, I met with our marriage therapist that we saw together as a couple before. I did not take it seriously at those times, thinking that she was the problem, not me. I told her that I really messed things up. The therapist pointed out several things about me that made me think. At the end of the session, she asked me a couple very impactful questions. She asked me how my relationship with God was. I answered that I was spiritual and that I believed in God, but I didn't go to church or read the Bible. I hated reading and found it boring. Then she asked me how I viewed my wife's relationship with God. I said she was very close to God. She goes to church, studies the Bible, and reads daily devotions. Then the lightning bolt question. If your wife had to pick a life with God or a life with me and God, who do you think she would pick? And I told her she would pick me and God. I text messages back and forth with my wife, and she mentioned that she didn't want to be married anymore and that I showed no real interest in her or her life. And she mentioned that she was fearful of my anger and my need to control. I didn't realize at the time, but I was basically treating friends and acquaintances better than my wife, the person I'm supposed to love and care for the most. My marriage was heading for divorce. This was my desperation point. I attended Saddleback services previously with my wife here and there. I then felt compelled to look at the next couple of hours. I then felt compelled to look up previous weekend's online worship service. It was about how to pray. I spent the next couple of hours talking to God, and He answered back by guiding me through the Saddleback website to find information about Moat. I spent the week watching previous online services. The following Sunday, I attended my first service at Saddleback and my first Moat meeting that following Wednesday. I started to realize that I had some serious character defects and committed myself to making some serious changes. I started to understand that I was on this earthly world to love God, others, and to serve Him with Christ-like character. I wanted to change, make things right with God, be a better man, and hopefully, if it wasn't too late, be a better husband. I recognized change meant a lifestyle change. I even got a nudge from God later that week when my favorite rock and roll station changed its format to Christian music. I took that as another sign and embraced it full-heartedly. Next, I attended Moat meetings. I purchased the book the group works with, so I read the book cover to cover in less than a week. Remember, I hated reading. That was an eye-opener. For whatever reason, I thought sinning were things like murder, adultery, stealing. I was taught that anger, selfishness, and controlling were sins as well. I realized how all the meetings I've been attending, along with seeing our therapist, are all accountability tools to help me stay on course for sustained change. I informed my wife that regardless of our future together, that I was committed to be a new man. As time went on, she witnessed my commitment to sustain change. As I started my step study, quiet time with the Bible, and a lot less TV. I got baptized December 10th, 2017. We are currently enrolled in Saddleback's church counseling classes graduating in September, and God willing, lead us to our ministry on becoming church counselors. I look back at the time it took for me to come to the Lord and see that all the pain and despair was not wasted. I finish in this verse from Romans 5:3-4, NLT. We can rejoice too when we run into problems and trials, for we know that they help us develop endurance, and endurance develops strength of character, and character strengthens our confident hope of salvation.